Hey everybody, welcome to the very first recap of Survivor, Heroes versus Villains. I've been waiting for this. Yes, it's season 20, and it's war. The war of good and evil. So, 10 somewhat good past tribe members and 10 somewhat evil past tribe members arrived by choppers. Yeah, that was cool. That was really cool. I bet Coach was having a deja vu moment there with the being dropped in on the South Pacific. So the good guys arrived first, which was excellent because they had to eat the sand of the bad guys. Can you tell which team I'm rooting for? Unfortunately, I don't think I like anybody on the good guys team except with the exception of Rupert, and I think he will even eventually get on my nerves as the season rolls on. Alright, so there was a good 5 to 7 minutes of ego stroking at the beginning by Jeff Probst. And like, aren't you guys starstruck? And, oh, I can't believe I'm here with like these reality celebrities. It was really weird. Alright, so right there on the beach, after they arrive, it was time for the first reward challenge. And of course, the prize for the first reward challenge is fire. So it's a 2-on-2 race to dig up a bag, and the first one back gets a point for their team. So the first matchup, Suri ended up finding it, and Danielle brought it back for the villains. In the scuffle, Stephanie dislocated her shoulder. That was crazy. Our favorite Australian medic came in and popped it back into place with a scarf. It was crazy. I would have been like, all right, check please. Yeah. Second run. Jerri was in that one. She dug it up and found it. But JT ended up stealing it away from her and bringing it in for the heroes. So then it was tied 1-1. The third run was like the Millennium matchup. It was Coach, Russell, Tom, and Colby. Total good versus total evil. And Russell found it because Coach wasn't even digging. He was just watching. And, you know, to have a little advantage that way. And then it came down to Coach versus Colby. Coach totally rode on Colby's back. It was really coming off a little homosexual to the finish line. And in the end, Coach stole the bag and got a point for the villains. Okay, so the fourth run. Courtney found it, and Sugar ended up giving up her bra in sacrificing to bring the bag in to get a point for the heroes. So now it's all tied up. And another matchup of the Millennium, James and Rupert and Boston Rob and Tyson. Yeah, Tyson found it. Boston Rob did the same thing that the villains did in the other one. He was just watching. He wasn't even digging it up, looking for it. But James was just too overpowering. He brought it in for the heroes, and they won the reward of fire. In the scuffle, though, Rupert broke his toe in, like, several places. So that was pretty nasty. Our favorite medic popped it back into place. I can't believe it already. I was, like, so excited. I was like, oh, man, there is carnage already. So Jeff throws them some maps, and they head out to their camps and start working on their shelter. So at the villains camp, Russell wastes no time. He's already making an alliance with Danielle and another alliance with Parvati. At the heroes camp, everyone's working hard because they're heroes. I'm like not liking the heroes already. And a gift from heaven, 4 chickens drop out of the freaking sky, and Tom decides, oh, I'm New York's bravest, so I'm going to go get the fishing net and we'll trap them. So it was 3 girl chickens and a rooster. So they'll have eggs. So at the villains camp, Coach is really gloating over his victory about, you know, the whole Kobe incident. And Jerri like a lot. And Coach like right back. I'm thinking little Survivor romance here. Season 20 might be a good time for the first ever Survivor baby. Do you have a buff in baby size? Russell says go for it. He's totally supportive of the whole thing. He thinks it's kind of cool that it's the Black Widow and the Dragon Slayer. I do too, actually. I'm putting my stamp of approval on it as well. So at the Heroes Camp, James and JT go into an alliance. Colby and Candace kind of team up. They never said, let's make an alliance. It was just kind of understood, I think, that they were working together. Amanda and Sari. Tom and Stephanie. But then Tom's going to double dip with JT, which means JT is double dipping as well. And he kind of says, well, sometimes you gotta lie, cheat, and even kill in this game. So yeah, I might not be a hero. So at the villains camp, Boston Rob is noticing that nobody's wanting to do anything because he thinks they're dehydrated. So they really need some fire. And lacking the flint, it's kind of difficult. So he decides that he's going to give it a shot. Randy tries to discourage him and say, you know, don't waste your time making the fire because you're going to use all your energy. We really need that for the challenge. But Rob did it anyway. And he freaking made fire. It was amazing. Coach is in awe, as am I, and most of the other people on the villains team. So respect, Boston Rob. But Russell's pretty angry because he wants to be number one. And if Boston Rob's in the spotlight, that means Russell, Toothless Russell, cannot be in the spotlight. So at the Heroes Camp, they've got flint, but Rupert can't make fire with it because he's kind of a spaz. A lovable spaz, nonetheless. So Colby and JT had to do it, and they eventually ended up with fire. So at the villains camp, there was a little pissing contest over who was going to climb up this palm tree that was kind of leaning over, and Boston Rob decided Amber wouldn't think it was a good idea, and then Coach decided he didn't want to take a risk and fall in the water, so nobody ended up doing it. At the Heroes Tribe, Sugar is kind of pursuing Colby and making a ruckus in the aftermath. You know, she's waking people up and she's being annoying, and what does she really do over there except be annoying? So that's not making Colby very happy about that at all because he needs his sleep. He needs his 14 hours of sleep a night. And the next morning, JT killed the rooster because they wanted to have breakfast. I'm vegetarian. All right, so it's time for the immunity challenge. 6 people from each team are going to race out to build a boat held together by 7 planks. They're going to row the boat out like Vikings and come back with a torch of fire. Then they're going to do a puzzle, but it's not just any puzzle, it's a 4-layer puzzle. Because this is Survivor 20, okay? We're not playing games here. This is for reals. They're going to do the puzzle. Then they're going to use the planks that held the boat together to build a ladder to climb up to Valhalla, I don't know, and light the fire, and then they win. And the reward, yeah, it's immunity. So the heroes had a huge lead with this. They were rowing out there like Vikings, and Colby was like, stroke, stroke, stroke. I really hate Colby. Have I mentioned that before? All right, so yeah, they might be all asses and elbows, but when it came to the puzzle, they were small brains. And the villains crushed them. The villains got that puzzle together like you wouldn't believe it. Sorry, Colby, you guys lose. So the villains celebrate. Russell totally loves it because, and I have to agree with him, the heroes are now the villains because they're trying to figure out who to get rid of. At the heroes camp, Sugar is feeling pretty bad because she was on puzzle. And she doesn't want to go home though, so she's going to try and throw Amanda under the bus. And the Colby crew wants Sugar gone, but Tom says, hey, wait a minute. Sari should go because, like, I don't even know what she's doing on the heroes team. Me neither, because she was totally, I thought she would be on the villains team, but whatever. So Sari, in fact, wants Tom or Stephanie gone because she wants to get rid of somebody who's stronger than her because she wants to be kept around if there's somebody weaker. All right, that's confusing. But it's time for Tribal Council, and they have not disappointed me. They built this giant 40-foot up in the air Tribal Council treehouse, and it is spectacular. So, of course, Jeff is there to grill them on Well, yes, some of these people have had previous relationships with each other, and some of them are here for their third time. Quite a few, actually, on the Heroes team have been there for the third. This is their third time. And WTF happened in the puzzle? You guys had a huge lead, and maybe one of you guys should go who was on the puzzle. In conclusion, everyone has a reason why they would be voted out. Of course they do, Jeff. It's Survivor. So it's time to vote, and I thought it was pretty funny that Sugar couldn't figure out that the pen needed to be opened at first. She was like, where's the point on this thing? And then she was like, yeah. So, poor Sugar. She got voted out. And Jeff's advice to the remaining heroes, all you should be thinking about is how to get even. So next time, oh my god, this is killing me. Boston Rob passes out in the jungle. Jerri finds him, of course, and it doesn't look good. I don't know whether they could bring him back. I'm thinking season 19 all over again. Yeah, when Russell passed out and they couldn't bring him back and he had to leave. That's sad, because I really like Boston Rob. Till next week, much love.